Soup by A.J. Curtis. As I was leafing through my repertoire of soup recipes, a loud rat-a-tat-tat interrupted my train of thought. I was looking for something warming for the Women's Institute meeting next week. It was a particularly cold January. Many of the members were recovering from the usual bout of winter sniffles. The knocking on my front door grew more urgent, causing the glass in the doorframe to rattle. "Oh, all right, I'm coming," I said, pushing aside my book. I stood up and opened the door. It was my annoying friend Mary. She marched past me without even saying hello. Waving a leaflet in my face, she shrieked, "You've just got to enter it." "Enter what?" I replied. "The competition, silly," she said. I snatched the leaflet to see what all the fuss was about. In bold letters it read, "National Soup Competition. First prize a small holding worth £500,000. A worldwide famous chef will judge this prestigious event. Antonio Pietro Bocelli." I suddenly felt dizzy and almost collapsed. Mary grabbed the leaflet and started fanning me with it. "Antonio Pietro Bocelli," I gasped. "Now breathe slowly, Hilary. You are hyperventilating," said Mary. "But Antonio Pietro Bocelli." Yes. Are you going to enter it?" she asked. "Of course I'm bloody well going to enter." I snatched back the leaflet and read it more carefully. Antonio Pietro Bocelli was my idol, my dreamboat. I was infatuated by him. He was so masterful and yet mysterious, everything a man should be, and he was going to taste my soup. "Put the kettle on, Mary. I need to find a soup recipe that will blow his beautiful head off." "Steady on, Hilary. You could give yourself an aneurysm talking like that." I collected up an armful of books and plonked them down on the kitchen table, searching for that elusive recipe. Mary picked up a book and shoved it under my nose. "Whale Soup by Jeff Parks." "Oh no, that's not a recipe book. Damn good read though," I said. "Any naughty bits in it?" she asked. "Well, you can borrow it and find out for yourself." Mary smiled and slipped the book into her shopping bag. We both sat drinking coffee while scanning heaps of recipes. I wondered what type of soup to make. A wholesome hearty soup or a more delicate consomme. Maybe a chowder or a flavoursome bisque. Perhaps Antonio would enjoy something more alluring like the Italian minestrone. Chinese, Japanese, Moroccan, I couldn't really decide. "Why don't you invent your own?" said Mary. "Yes, why don't I?" I thought to myself. "I know what herbs and spices go together, and I can season really well. I could create a myriad of flavours that would dance off his tongue and sing to his palate. An intense explosion of flavour would have him wanting more. Oh yes, I couldn't wait to get started." The next few weeks my kitchen resembled a science lab that had been blown up by schoolboys several times over. I didn't care about the mess, as long as my creative juices were flowing, and I was having the time of my life. And believe me, that doesn't happen often when you hit your mid-50s. Finally, I narrowed it down to 3 different soups, but to choose the best, I tested them out at the next WI meeting. The ladies all voted for their favourite and then helped me create a name for the winning entry. Random names were pulled out of a hat. I tried to ignore some of the joke names like Silly Supper Soup and Hilary's Billery, but Mary enjoyed a chuckle along with a few of the others. I didn't like any of the suggested names, so I decided to call my soup Cream of Arachis Hypogaea. "Sounds like an STI," said one of the women. "And you'd know all about that," I replied. "It's the best soup I've ever tasted. What's in it?" asked Mary, changing the subject. "It's top secret until after the competition. I can't take a chance on someone stealing the recipe," I said. On the first day of the competition, I travelled to the quintessential town of Cheltenham with a flask of my precious soup. Hundreds of people were waiting in line at the Centaur, Cheltenham's finest racecourse. Today all soups would be tasted by gourmet chefs from around the borough of Gloucester. If my soup was passed, I would be given a yellow slip and then had to go through to another queue to have it tasted by someone else. With over 10 different queues, I would have to wait in each to be within a chance to see my God, Antonio Pietro Bocelli. By day 3, the top 20 soups were announced. I fidgeted while waiting, my anxiety reaching new heights while straining to hear if my name was called. It was! I danced with delight all the way back to my hotel room. Tomorrow I would have to cook my soup. Antonio would choose the winner. I didn't sleep well. My mind was in turmoil over different scenarios I replayed in my head. The worst was tripping over with bowl of soup in hand and splashing over Antonio. The second was someone ruining my soup by tipping a cup of salt into it when I wasn't looking. I would make sure that I didn't wear lace-up shoes and that I never left my soup unattended. Television cameras were mounted at every corner in the Centaur. I couldn't believe it was going to be televised. I felt very important with my name embellished in gold lettering on my apron. In a daze I bimbled along to my workbench. We had 1 hour to cook and present the soup to Antonio. With only 16 minutes to make my sensation, I ran and gathered my ingredients from the pantry along with the other contestants. The secret to a great soup is in the stock, and I knew how to make fabulous stock. I didn't need a recipe as I knew this soup inside out and back to front. The secret ingredient was kept in a dark jar under my bench. I didn't want anyone stealing it. After an hour, the klaxon sounded. We all stopped cooking. Our soups were then plated and taken to the top table. We were all asked to wait in the next room while Antonio Pietro Bocelli set about sampling them. I was so nervous I went to the bathroom. I sat on the loo and contemplated my fate. Would I win? Would I get to see the great Antonio? Just a minute, I could hear him. There was a small hole above the toilet roll holder where his screw had once been. I squinted to take a look. Antonio was tasting the soups. My soup stood out because I didn't serve it in a boring white bowl. Oh no, I used a hollowed out pumpkin. Antonio stood over my exhibit. He lifted the lid and inhaled the aroma. I could hardly contain my excitement. Then he slammed the lid down and walked on to the next without even tasting it. The miserable bastard didn't even try it. Well, I wasn't having that, I thought. Later that evening, a special dinner with an award ceremony was being held. Antonio was sitting on the top table with a few of his chef friends looking rather smug. I snuck into the kitchen and replaced my soup for the winner's soup that was going to be served. I wanted Antonio Flaming Pietro Bocelli to taste my soup. The waiters brought out trays of my soup and proceeded to serve everyone. I watched as Antonio took a spoonful to his lips. My knees trembled as he swallowed deeply. Antonio started to cough and then gasp. He stood up and fell over backwards, pulling the tablecloth and all of its contents on top of him. An ambulance was called and Antonio was rushed to hospital with blue lights flashing. I retreated to my hotel room and cried silent tears. The next day the newspaper headlines read, Antonio Pietro Bocelli critical after eating peanut soup.